prize. And now I'd like to call forward the former chair, Claire Robbins, for our invitation.
I think the only thing that can follow that is going to the Lord in prayer. So if you would, please bow with me. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we come into your presence and we are just so grateful that we can speak your name and be with you, Father. God, I just pray your blessings on the leadership here tonight, those that are taking office, those that are coming out from serving our community for several years. God, I pray that you'll be with their thoughts and their the direction that they take during their term. God, I just pray that they seek wisdom from you. God, I also pray for all of the other people that are here with us tonight, that you will help them be an example for you, that knowing that each thing that we do, each thing that we say can make a difference in someone's life. And God, I just pray your blessings on this group tonight. I pray your blessings on this food and ask that you bless those that provided the food for us. God, I just thank you for your Son, for the gift of salvation that we can claim. And we thank you for all this in the sweet name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of you are still eating. Please continue with your meal, but we are going to get started. We appreciate everyone's time. We know everyone is busy these days, and we're going to be cognizant of that. We have a lot of sponsors we want to recognize, and also some very special people here in town for some business awards that we're going to give. So without further ado, let's get started. Tonight, we have a presenting sponsor who all of you are going to be very aware of, Fredonia Hotel and Convention Center, and this is a great place or what. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is a round of applause for all the servers that are getting this done for us tonight, because they're working hard. And now, if you'll hold your applause, I'll go through our other sponsors here that are very significant and helped us a lot this year. Our silver sponsors: Harry's Building Materials, Pilgrims Nacogdoches, SFA Mickey Elliott College of Fine Arts, SFA Office of Vice President for University Advancement, and UBank. Our bronze sponsors include A. Pineywood's Home Health Services, Elite Medical Care, Axley & Rohde, Batters Law Firm, Cadence Bank and Cadence Insurance, Buchanan Wealth Management, Citizens First Bank, Eaton Cooper Power Systems, E-Tech, HCH Aviation, Laird Funeral Home, Nacogdoches Economic Development Corp., Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital, NIBCO, NMC Health Network, Encore Electric, Pinecrest Retirement Community, and Southside Bank. A round of applause for those sponsors. A little later in the program, we're going to be giving away some business awards, and I want to recognize those sponsors right now. Small Business of the Year is Commercial Bank of Texas. There's a sponsor. Small, Medium Business of the Year, Regions Bank. Large Business of the Year, RMK Distributors. Citizen of the Year, Tipton Ford Lincoln. And Nonprofit of the Year, Charles Poole Real Estate. So a round of applause for those sponsors of our business awards. And we're very fortunate tonight to have a number of elected officials with us, and we want to recognize them because they do a lot for our community and our nation, spend their time to make us a better country and a better community. So we want to recognize them for their work. And we'll start out at the top for the state of Texas. Governor Abbott's office, Betty Russo. Betty, raise your hand. Okay, if you'll hold your applause till we get finished, I appreciate it. But Betty, we appreciate you being here, and we have a proclamation coming from the governor a little later. So, from Senator Cornyn's office, Reese DeWoody and Sarah Butler. From Representative Gomert's office over here, Representative Gomert, John Tanner, and Melinda Carty. From Senator Nichols' office, Sean Dunn. From Travis Party's office, Jerry Jones. State Board of Education, Dr. Audrey Young. Our district judges, Judge Ed Klein and Judge Jeff Davis. Raise your hand to be recognized, please, guys. Thank you. County Judge Greg Sowell, judge over here. County Commissioner Robin Dolly. Robin, raise your hand real high. Thank you, Robin. County Attorney John Fleming. John, thank you. You should be here instead of me. I tried to talk Betty into doing that, but she wouldn't do it. Mayor Jimmy Mize. Thank you, Mayor. City Council members. We have 4 City Council members with us. Chad Huckabee, Amelia Fisher, Roy Bolden, and Kathleen Bellinger. Big wave for us, please. NISD school board members, James Irvin, Reverend James Irvin, James Montoya, you know, I saw James, thank you. Mindy Winslow, TJ Gorman, and Farshid Namarad. SFA Regents, Robert Flores, Robert, thank you, and Nancy Wyndham. Long list of folks that are elected officials that spend their time to help our community. So big round of applause for all those people. And Representative Gomert is here tonight. The governor also recognized the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce with a proclamation. We have that proclamation here. I'm not going to read it to you, but we are going to bring it up and present it. And he is very proud of what's going on here and recognizes it. And Ms. Russo has been recognized earlier today. We appreciate you delivering it to us tonight. All right. We also have some special guests from a little closer to home. The Lufkin Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Would you guys wave your hand real big? I know you're sitting over here. I know it's football season and I'll get in trouble for this, but we're extremely glad that you're here tonight. Tara Watson, and your crew from there, we appreciate the relationship that the Chamber has with Lufkin and Angelina County. Thanks for being with us tonight. There's another special group that we have here that have served our community very well and done a lot in our community. That's the past presidents of the Chamber and the past chairs. So if you're a past chair or a past Chamber president, please raise your hand to be recognized. What we do at the Chamber doesn't happen without a lot of volunteer work, and those people were leading at the time and continue to be involved, so that's what makes our community great. And on the other side, we have emerging leaders. Our Leadership Nacogdoches. The Chamber is proud of that program. It's a premier program that the Chamber has been operating, and we want to recognize those. So if you're a current member of the Nacogdoches, Leadership Nacogdoches, please stand for me. They are our future leaders and our current leaders, so we appreciate what you do. So remain standing here. I want to get all of you. If you're a past graduate of Leadership Nacogdoches, please stand. This program makes our community very strong. Thank you for what you have done and the effort you put forth to understand our community in the chamber. Please be seated. And then one more group here that are very special to us is, if you're a past Nacogdoches Chamber Citizen of the Year, would you please stand? And I see the two over here standing together, from Gary Lynn and Charlotte. So thank you guys for being with us tonight. There's a list of directors that are finishing their term this year. We want to recognize them. So they're retiring directors, and I would ask right now that the Chamber Chair, Dr. Todd Brown, come up here as we present them with a token of our appreciation. If you're a retiring board member, please be ready to make your way to the stage. Dr. Kim Childs, Stephen F. Austin State University. Come on up, we're all going to get on the stage, believe it or not. Tyrone Curl, DMC Marketing Group. Juan Gonzalez, Cadence Bank. Sherry Howard, NIPCO. Scarlett Long, Parkway Wealth Management. Here's Scarlett. Michael Martin, Nacogdoches Independent School District. Ted Smith, State Farm. Ted, I know you're here. There you are. Come on up, Ted. Step up, Ted. You're an important man right now. There you go. There you go.
We'll beat Sam next week.
And Marcus Walsh of DTech is not here today, but a round of applause. Oh, Marcus, come on up. Come on up. DTech is a huge part of our community. He employs lots of folks and takes good care of them and really cares about our community a lot. So, Marcus, we appreciate all that you've done for the chamber and that DTech has done for the chamber. All right, one more round of applause for the retiring directors. Folks, hold on a second. They want one photo here. Thank you, Dr. Brown. And now I would welcome, ask past Chair Donna Finley to come forward and install the directors and officers for the year 2022-2023.
Will the 2022-23 Executive Committee please join me on stage? Chair, Dustin Fevers, Alston Bank. Chair-elect, past Chair, Dr. Todd Brown, SFA. Chair-elect, Dr. Ryan Head. Treasurer, Melissa Tack. Vice Chair, Business Development, Tyrone Curl. Vice Chair, Community Development, Rick Craig. We'll get back to the Executive Committee in a moment, and I ask them to stand by. Will the 2022-23 Board of Directors, please stand in place as I call your name. Trish Holt, E-Tech. Trey Lewis, the Legacy Athletic Club. Darla O'Neill, Salvation Army. Shannon Conklin, HCH Aviation. Ken Deppish, Deppish Law Firm. Pam Fitch, Spirit Outfitters. Emily Hobson, Eaton Cooper Power Systems. Terrence Reeves, Concerned Black Men of Nacogdoches. Carrie Allen, NMC Health Network. Heath Batters, Batters Law Firm. Katie Blethens, SFA Campus Recreation. Amelia Commander, Nacogdoches and Memorial Hospital. Caroline Garner, Nacogdoches Area United Way. Dr. Gabriel Trujillo, Nacogdoches ISD. Directors, you have been elected to represent the membership of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce and to become a part of the governing board to help your officers plan for the future. The membership has shown faith and trust in you as a leader. If you accept your responsibility, please raise your right hand and answer "I do" to this question. Do you promise to faithfully perform the duties as a board member to the best of your ability? Congratulations and best wishes as you serve. Please remain standing. Executive Committee, you have been duly elected as officers for the incoming year for the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. You have been chosen to represent the membership and to lead them. They have faith in you. That faith goes deeper than understanding here before us and taking this oath. It represents faith in the future. I hope you realize the seriousness of the obligation you are now assuming. If you accept the office to which you have been elected, will you please raise your right hand and keep it raised until you have answered these questions? Officers, do you also accept the responsibilities and duties you now assume? Do you further promise that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office to the best of your ability and understanding? Congratulations and best wishes as you leave the chamber.
Thank you, new officers, and thank you for your willingness to serve our community. And now, Dr. Brown will ask you to give your outgoing chairman's remarks.
Wow. We never got so many tables in this room. It's a large crowd. But our theme this year was Stronger Together. And we certainly were. We had 32 ribbon cuttings, record-breaking Blueberry Festival, and many live after fives that brought the community together. We had a great group of Nobel scholars, and we just kicked off the largest leadership Nacogdoches class ever. Speaking of leaders, we have a group of great leaders here tonight with our honorees. We have Dr. Ryan Head with Head Pediatrics, takes care of little ones, and so involved in the community. Laird Funeral Home, Danny Munger and his wonderful team help people get through a sensitive time in life. NISD, we started with Alton Fraley. Now we have Gabe Trujillo and his fine team taking NISD to the next level. We have Hope, helping other people eat. Deidre Harrison and a great group of people who go about their service of helping others with their basic needs. Chief Kiplinger displayed leadership and helping our community through the pandemic. He exemplified what Stronger Together is all about. Bill Elliott. He built a wonderfully successful company. And his philanthropic efforts with SFA in the community is unmatched. Every one of these folks is about making this community better in their own unique way. We can all be leaders. We can lead quietly, we can lead by example, or we're like these folks and help lead others. And here at the Chamber, we give you the tools to be leaders. There's 2 things you must do to be a good leader. Stay informed and get involved. We're helping folks stay informed by having Eggs and Issues, where we bring leaders from SFA, the county, the city, the state, to help inform you. We have community conference calls that we find out what's happening in NAC, Lufkin, SFA days in Austin, where state government, we see it in action in Austin. In a record-breaking LSLS, Lone Star Legislative Summit, where the largest gathering of legislators outside of Austin occurred right here in Nacogdoches. We do these things to keep you, our businesses, informed. We inform, but you have to be involved. And one doesn't work without the other. So get engaged in the conversation. Otherwise, a small minority decides everything. At the Chamber, we are also getting involved. Traffic disruptions with the destruction of I-69, digging trenches that affect businesses. We facilitated solutions to these problems. Supporting NISD bond, housing issues, broadband, and so much more. And what if a potential state law change affects your business? And so, the Chamber is looking to secure representation to watch out for your business interests in Austin and DC. We want you to be a leader, and we want you to choose the Chamber to help be a leader. And we can do that with networking, advocacy, or consulting. This is the 100th anniversary of our annual banquet. Like our beloved SFA, who turns 100 next year. Great things are ahead, only if we remember that we are stronger together. And speaking of stronger together, I want to introduce my family right quick, if you don't mind. First off is my wife, lovely wife, Paige. Thank you for going to all those events with me this year. I appreciate it. Thank you for being my rock. Next is Jackson Baker. Everything I do, buddy, is for you. And Dr. James Patillo. Thank you for watching Jackson while all those events and being that steady influence. And Dr. Baker, I've learned many things from watching him. One thing stands out. No matter how good a speech was or how good an event was, when he came home, we would talk about it as a family. And he would always say, on to the next thing. See, no matter how good something went, he knew it was all about what's coming next. And so I thoroughly enjoyed my year as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. But it's on to the next thing. And the next thing for the Chamber is Dustin Beavers, our incoming chair of the Chamber of Commerce.
Todd, we'd like to give you this plaque in recognition of your service, and I can't tell you just on a personal level how much I appreciate everything you did for me, keeping me in the loop to a point where I know there's so much going on. I really feel like I can hit the ground running, and you definitely paid that way for me. So thank you so much for everything. And to step up here and be chair and follow in all the great footsteps of all the past presidents. And I know we were recognized earlier, and then I saw Gary Lee raise his hand, so I figured if he can do it, I think I definitely think I could probably make it this year. I know he'll be there to support me every step of the way, though. So I first want to say how honored and humbled I am to be in this position. The Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce takes a pivotal role in this community. The Chamber focuses on 3 key areas to support the business community: networking, advocacy, and collaboration, as Todd just mentioned. Nacogdoches is a great community that still feels like home. I am not a den. I was not born in Nacogdoches, but I did get here as soon as I could. Growing up in Beaumont, my grandparents lived here. We spent every chance we could driving up Highway 69 to visit. We spent every holiday, random weekends, and most of the summers here in Nacogdoches running the roads, and I even got married here. Even though I was not born here, Nacogdoches has always felt like home, with that small town feeling. A place that still has community events like the Texas Blueberry Festival. A community that supports one another with so many great organizations, businesses, and people. The world is changing, and Nacogdoches County is not exempt from change. Our region will face challenges. We must focus on what makes us a great community in order to tackle these challenges head on. What will help champion these challenges are the relationships that we have with our local leaders, our business community, and our education systems. We must have transparency and open dialogue in order to keep Nacogdoches a special place to live, work, and play. I am so proud of our past and the history that goes along with being the oldest town in Texas. But we must preserve the history as well as focus on our future to ensure Nacogdoches continues that sense of community feeling. I want to end tonight by thanking a few people. First, C. Wayne Mitchell and the Chamber staff. I firmly believe that we have one of the best Chamber staffs in Texas, if not worldwide. The work and the support to put on an event like this and all the different things. And then most important to me is every time I walk into the Chamber, if you have never been into the Chamber, go in there, because I guarantee you you'll leave with a smile. So thank you so much to all of you. To our immediate past chairman, Ted Smith, and our outgoing chair of the board, Dr. Todd Brown. The leadership that you have shown me over the past 2 years, the guidance from Ted, really outside of the pandemic, and then Todd really getting us back on track. You became 2 very close personal friends of mine, and I know that you both will be there throughout the next year when I need to make a phone call or vent or be happy or whatever that may come, but I appreciate both of you. Of course, I cannot leave this stage without thanking one of my favorite people in Nacogdoches, and I promise I'm going to wrap up very soon so we can stay on schedule, but that's Miss Betty Shin. Thank you so much. And of course, the banquet committee. I know there was more, but I think at this night a year ago, I had to beg Betty to do it at least one more year for me. So thank you so much, as well as our banquet committee, because tonight looks great. I want to thank Austin Bank. I'm blessed to work for a company that will allow me to give my time back to the community and really promotes that. And then also my team that allows me to be out of those and is always taking care of me. Erica, and I know a lot of them are here tonight. I know y'all are going to make fun of me because I'm getting a little sentimental, but I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of y'all, because y'all become my family as well. To Miss Frances Sproul, Frances, thank you so much for being one of my mentors at the bank, but also I know you've held this position as well. So I don't think I need another reason to come into your office and ask more questions, but I know you'll be there every step of the way, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything. Last but not least, to my wife, Rochelle, my daughter, Raimi, and my son, Shelton, I can guarantee everyone in this room tonight, there is no way I am standing here talking to all of you without the support of those 3. I joke with people, my wife just pretty much got me trained the way that she wants me to do, so it took a long time to get there, but you've been there every step of the way, Rochelle. Can I tell you how much I appreciate everything? Anytime that I need to go somewhere to an event, you're the first one to say yes, you're the first one to support me, and I cannot tell you how much I love you. The last thing I can say, and I promised I wouldn't do this, and I don't want to get in trouble, so I don't think I am. I've been teetering the entire time, but about, 45 minutes ago, 6 years ago, my little girl, Raimi, was born. And so she got to come out to Dad to celebrate her 6th birthday at the Chamber Banquet. So I'm not going to ask you to sing, but she said no. Now I'm going to get in trouble on the way home. In closing, my chamber friends, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you being here tonight. I have a 24/7 open door policy. I publish my cell phone number in the chamber letter. If you have any questions or concerns, if there's anything the chamber can do for you, I guarantee you we're here to help. You call me at 10 o'clock at night because most of the time I'm leaving the baseball field, so it's not a problem. Let's be proud of our past, but let's be focused on the future. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Ramey. Happy birthday. And the reason that we're all here is for you. So another round of applause for Ramey's birthday. And now I'd like to call the podium our President and CEO, Wayne Mitchell, for our President's remarks from the Chamber. Wayne?
Well, good evening, everyone. And first of all, I'd like to acknowledge this young lady to my left. She is Shannon Jacobson. We really appreciate. We've had a relationship for several events, and we've really enjoyed the services you provide for those folks here in Laird. And thank you very much, Shannon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is my 7th opportunity to address you as President and CEO of the Nacogdoches County Chamber. This past year, like everything in Nacogdoches County, has been a year of change. Our programs identified by the Board of Directors have been designed to make Nacogdoches County more attractive for investment, and that's what we've worked on this past year. And we've done it in a number of ways, some of which were articulated by both Dustin and by Todd Brown, Dr. Brown. We do stand for NAC, networking, advocacy, and consulting, working with our businesses to help them prosper. Here's the deal. Chambers in the United States have changed, and they'll continue to change. This business that I started in almost 40 years ago used to be warm and fuzzy. We did the little events and the soft programming, what I used to call soft programming. That's no longer the case. Today we recognize that there will be communities that will be winners and losers in Texas and in the United States, and those communities that don't coalesce, that don't have a common vision, that don't work well with their neighbors, are not communities that are going to compete in a global marketplace. We're seeing it in Texas. If you have any doubt about that, go to the websites of some of your larger metro chambers and see how well armed those chambers are. Here's the deal. Rural Texas will always suffer as long as we fail to unite and speak with one voice. And that means not just our neighbors, and I'm delighted to have Tara and her outstanding colleagues from Lufkin with us tonight, not just with the Lufkins of the world, but with the Longviews and with the Tylers and with the Livingstons and all of those East Texas neighbors today. Failure for us to unite and speak with one voice in Austin and in Washington puts our communities in peril. There'll be haves and there'll be have-nots. When you talk about $1 trillion stimulus package, there has got to be a fair share for Nacogdoches County and for Angelina County. And the only way we're going to get our fair share is to speak up, to knock on doors, to break down walls, and to establish relationships today that make them pay attention to East Texas neighbors. I'm proud of this chamber. I'm particularly proud of my board of directors. Women and men that make courageous decisions. They sit in that boardroom and from time to time are asked to take a position on things like the recent CEO. Like you, their decisions have consequences. It's tough sometimes, but they've shown courage and intestinal fortitude to step forward and to make sure that our voice is heard. We may not have prevailed in the last one, but I assure you that our board of directors is committed to help Nacogdoches move forward. In my opinion, we have 3 immediate priorities. One is the potential impact of I-69. You've heard me say it over and over again. It can be a tremendous asset, but it also can be a bypass, a tremendous liability. In this very room at Exit Issues 4 months ago, one of our area economic development experts said there are communities in Texas along I-69 corridor that are not prepared for the impacts of I-69. To some extent, I believe we're one of those communities, and we need to get our act together. The municipal government, the business community, education leaders, and every constituent in this community has a stake in the ultimate build-out of that. And let me tell you, I've been working with departments of transportation for the better part of 40 years. 10 years build-out is the blink of an eye in the eyes of transportation planning. If we're not prepared, we won't benefit. The second thing we need to do is monitor the transition for Stephen F. Austin State University, which we all love, and recognize the economic and cultural value to this community. We, the Chamber and the citizens of Nacogdoches, have a stake in the future that's so important with what happens at that university. And as a result, we have to have a voice. The Chamber needs to increase its influence in the area of clout and advocacy. I'm happy to say that our friends from Angelina and Nacogdoches County are working together on going to Austin together in February. We're looking forward to that, but it's not enough. We need to unite to develop a stronger voice in both Washington and Austin, as I said earlier, to address critical infrastructure needs and educational needs. As much as I recognize that we're all wealthy in Nacogdoches, you can't bridge $170 million of deficiencies in infrastructure in the back of Nacogdoches taxpayers. Which means we better find other sources of income and other sources of subsidies in order to make those things happen. I want to thank my board and the committee members for their continued work and hard work, working in the area of education, economic development, advocacy, and so many others. I'm blessed to have a talented staff, and I realize how committed they are to this community. We ask a lot from the 4 young women that work with me, and I've got to tell you, I couldn't be more blessed. I apologize from time to time that I lately have become an irritant, but I'm concerned about the future of Nacogdoches. God willing, I hope to live the rest of my life in this community. I love it so much. But I want my grandchildren and your grandchildren to have the same opportunities we all have to live here. And the only way we can assure that is great paying jobs in a community that's showing continued progress and growth. My job, your job is to work together, as Todd said, to accomplish that objective. Like Chairman Dustin says, we need to be proud of our past, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, focused on our future. God bless you all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know this is our annual meeting and our awards banquet, and so we're going to change gears now and move into our awards section of the show. We have some excellent recipients tonight. We have some folks that have really given of their time and efforts to Nacogdoches that we want to recognize, and we want to do that right now. We named these awards the Gary Justice Business Excellence Awards. And for many of you in the room, you will know Gary Justice. You will have worked with him. And Dina, stand up for me, please. Dina, Gary was very special in our community for years. He spent his life working with our community, wanting it to be better, working with the Chamber to make it better. And this is a very fitting tribute to him. And I want the folks that didn't get the privilege of working with Gary, like some of us did, to know that we appreciate you and your family for being here tonight. And it's our honor to present these awards in his name. Thank you. A round of applause, please. The companies you're going to hear about tonight are going to be recognized for their economic impact, their community involvement, and their leadership in our community. We have 4 awards: Small Business of the Year, Medium Business of the Year, Large Business of the Year, Nonprofit, and you can tell them from Oklahoma there's 5. Citizens of the Year. I did 2 tours in the 1st grade. I just now learned to count. And then we have a very special lifetime award that we will present at the end. So.
I grew up in around the Charleston, South Carolina area in a town called Hanahan, South Carolina. Grew up, went to college, medical school. I met my wife, Rachel, who is from Nacogdoches, and my parents moved from Charleston to the Dallas area, so it became a no-brainer to move to Texas, and it just so happened that Rachel's hometown needed a urologist as well as a pediatrician, so that's how we ended up here. Initially, when I started medical school, I thought I wanted to be an ER doctor. But when I was there, I realized that that was really not what was meant for me. When I made the decision to choose pediatrics, I'd always loved to be around kids. I enjoyed helping out my father's church, doing nursery, and I really enjoyed children's demeanor, their attitude, the fact that they're usually very joyful people, that they don't really have a filter, they tell you exactly what they think. Enjoy watching them grow up from babies as one-day-olds to teenagers. So that's why I really enjoy pediatrics and watching them progress from each of those stages of life. I believe that pediatrics does offer some unique challenges. Primary one I would say is that reimbursement, especially for Medicaid for children, is a lot lower than Medicare. My patients don't vote, and so there's not as much political pressure on government to ensure the reimbursement rates for children. I think it's important to give back to the community because I plan on raising my kids in this community, and I want to ensure that they have an amazing experience in this town, in this community, and that they realize how important the community is, not only to us, but to everyone that we love and we care for. As far as legacy for my business, I just want to ensure that I'm trying to do the best I can for my patients and their parents. And so to ensure that the parents understand that we're doing our best for their children to ensure that they grow up as happy and healthy as they can, and to be a small part of that is incredible, and we are incredibly grateful for that opportunity.
I opened my practice about 7 years ago, and a decision came to me pretty early on, and that is how much Medicaid patients does my office accept? Long story short, Medicaid for pediatrics is a very poor payer. And I don't mean this in any sort of political aspect, I mean just as a fact of matter of business. The best way I can explain is that if I were to see 3 Medicaid patients a day, that would only pay for the rent in my current location. That includes none of the overhead, that includes none of the other expenses that we have to pay, much less payroll or anything like that. But I felt called to take care of any kid that a mother and father entrusted for me to take care of. And so within a year and a half, within a year and a half of opening my doors, I decided to grow and expand. And that's when I hired Scott Nelson, who's just now celebrated his 5th anniversary with our office. I then expanded even further. Frank Turner joined our team, and then earlier this year, Amanda McGuire came on. And so the 4 of us, along with our amazing staff, help take care of any Medicaid patient that walks through our door, and it's a point of pride for our office to say that we are the only private clinic in Nacogdoches that accepts any and all new Medicaid patients. And like I said, we take great pride in that. And so I'll just end with our motto is that we care for your kids from head to toe. God has blessed me immeasurably in this endeavor, and I accept this award as further evidence of that. Thank you again.
Head to toe, that's good stuff. Thank you, Ryan, Dr. Head, for what you do. Thank you, Commercial Bank, for sponsoring the Small Business of the Year. We'll move on to the Medium Business of the Year. Danny Munger and Laird Funeral Home are our 2022 Gary Justice Medium Business of the Year. Danny, please come forward. Danny puts his heart and soul into the work of our community, and this is a very deserving award. And to present that award will be Regions Bank, Tina West McInerney. Tina, come on up.
Years. I think Lynn was here for the first one. You know, we don't do what we do for accolades and recognition. I firmly believe what we do is because of a God-called ministry. And those things couldn't be possible, number one, for Lynn and Johnny Sue, for having the gumption and the fortitude to open their business in 1980. But more importantly, to choose me to be a steward of their business already 14 years ago. That lady right over there in the red blouse, my wife Shannon, I've got to thank her. Because my side of the bed was empty a lot at night. And she stood in as a single mother a lot while I had to tend to the duties of my job. can't accept this award for anything that I do or that Lynn does. Every one of our employees at the funeral home, we are so cohesive and a family, and they're the ones that make this possible. So I thank you for that. But I do want to end on a little bit of levity. An old undertaker in his 90s, older than Lynn. Whenever he was speaking to a crowd, no matter how big or how small, he would always end by looking at you in the eye and saying, and as always, thank you for smoking.
I am so proud to be such a minimal part of a very wonderful business. Laird is family owned. We not only love each other like family, we treat each other like family. We treat the people that we serve like family. And that makes me so proud to know that we work together so well. Choosing Nacogdoches to be a part of and investing back comes from something that has happened to us all, not just as Laird Funeral Home, but personally. Nacogdoches has been good to us. Nacogdoches has been good to our families. And the best thing to do is to give back to those that make up this community. And it's such a great place. We love being here. Nacogdoches is home and has been for my entire life. And so we love to give back and provide things for Nacogdoches that have been provided to us by Nacogdoches. I think if I had to say something that would make me smile is our families, because they come in and are having a horrible day. And we do our best to make that day better, even if it is just a little bit. And if we're smiling, it makes them smile.
Over the last 14 years since I've been in Nacogdoches, there are so many, because we've helped so many. But most important to me is that we have the reputation of being fair, honest, and most importantly, compassionate to those that we serve.
Congratulations for the large business of the year. And to present that award is Jimmy Day, representing R&K Distributors, is presenting the large business of the award to Nacogdoches NISD.
I want to, on behalf of our staff, I have some notes here, but first and foremost, I want to thank R&K for your sponsorship and the sponsors that come out and step out to make this an honor for all of us and seeing this as a tremendous opportunity. I also want to thank the Chamber for selecting Nacogdoches ISD and looking at it. And there's other individuals out there that I do not know who they are, but they Nacogdoches ISD rolled off their tongue, and we're very, very proud of that. And I want to thank our community. I say our community because I live here, and I work here, I shop here, I do everything I need to do here. And so I thank our community for selecting Nacogdoches ISD. I want to thank, and I want to say a few names, and I don't want to miss anybody out because this is a long time coming, and I've got to get back to the script, right, Les? Mario, city manager. During the last couple of years, it's been tough because we've had a tough relationship and making sure that we can support each other. And the reason I tell you that is because you may not know this, but a lot of our emergency vehicles and things that needed to have fuel during that snowmageddon, we had buses that weren't running, but we had a lot of fuel, and he needed the fuel. So we partnered with the city, and it was a joy to go out there and to watch our fire trucks and our emergency vehicles line up where our buses line up to fill up their fuel. Many of us didn't know that, but the city was operating with the fuels that we were able to provide. I made a phone call that day to ask questions. To my peers, superintendent friends, have you ever loaned gas from the school district? And all I got was silence. So we took a risk and we said, we'll handle it at the other end of that conversation. Chief, gosh, the work that you've done with our nurses, training and preparing our folks, whether we were at SFA or one of our sites or at the edge of town over at the Civic Center, tremendous partnership with you, sir. Judge Sal, I don't know where you're at, but my goodness gracious, we got to see us in our ugliness. Because Judge Sal, myself, SFA, the city, we would get on a Zoom, early hours of the morning, late in the evening. We would have deep conversations about what it is that we want to make sure to provide for the entire community, the collective community. So the school district was aligned with the city, aligned with the county, aligned with the university, so that we were not operating separately from each other, but having a partnership with each other. So Judge Sal, I want to thank you for those hours that we've had some conversations that are there. SFA, I don't even know who to point to, but SFA, the nursing program, lending their nursing program to our school district on many occasions and making sure that our professional staff knew exactly what they needed to do, bringing their nurses in partnership with our school district. And I don't want to typically single out one individual, but Ralph LaRue, who's sitting right here square in front of me. It didn't matter the hour, sir. It didn't matter the hour. You'd see a white truck that says Nacogdoches Independent School District. It didn't matter what was on the road, if it was ice or snow or water. That truck was rolling to make sure that we were doing the things that we need to take care of. And not only yourself, but also the rest of the staff. So when we see this large business recognition, I'm so grateful for this acknowledgement for Nacogdoches ISD and what it means for our community. Over the past couple of years, we've opened brand new facilities, including sparkling new, futuristic M-line Carpenter. And we got to celebrate. A lot of the folks in this room were in that room. And I'm going to tell you, the first day of school, if you were there to watch the eyes of those little kids walking into that brand new building, it was worth every minute of that day to watch those eyes come in. We've expanded our facilities while renovating other buildings, all because of the support and the commitment of this community that showed 4 years ago by an overwhelming approval of bond package. And for that, we say thank you. But in my heart of hearts, I know tonight's award is about more than brick and mortar. I took a few of the folks that are in this room and gave them a tour of the CTE building. And I said, today, when you walk in this building, you're going to see this building is not like this. This CTE building in every school we have is doing this. It's breathing. And what brings it life are our teachers, our students, our staff. That's what brings life to that school, and for that we are forever grateful. It is also all about taking place, what was about 2 years ago. I did read this before. It's also about what's taken place the last 2 years, and you heard a lot of that when I just briefly went over it. And that's all of our staff, and all of our students overcoming so many obstacles created by this worldwide pandemic that has impacted the school district across this country. Now let's be clear, I'm just a small part of this, and my leadership team, which means so much to me, is simply a fraction of what is Nacogdoches ISD. This school district is made up of so many of our teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals, custodial, nutrition staff, counselors, nurses, social workers, technology team, plant services that care for the facilities inside and out. And of course, our 6,000 strong students, and that enrollment is climbing. It took everyone, and I mean everyone, to get us through this. And if just one group had not done its job or shown up, we would not have made it. And I praise our entire organization, students and faculty, for everything they've done. I want to also give a special thanks to the folks that don't show up, the spouses of our teachers, the spouses that are there to support us every day of the job that our educators do. I want to thank my wife, I told her about Nacogdoches. She said, "Naco where?" And so here we are on our third year and loving every minute of it here in Nacogdoches. Yet it's got to be more than what what is more than it is in this room. So I'm gonna do something, if you'll just bear with me for this for just a moment. If you're a former or even a current student of NISD, would you please stand? If you're a current or a former NISD student. Okay, take a look at these folks. If you remain standing, don't sit down yet. If your children attended or are currently attending Nacogdoches ISD, please stand. Okay, remain standing for me, please. If you work or you've worked with Nacogdoches ISD, please stand. If you're a volunteer or have volunteered with Nacogdoches ISD, please stand with us. If you want the best for Nacogdoches and you want the best for this school district, please stand. Now take a look around you. Take a look around you. This is Nacogdoches ISD. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's what this recognition is all about to Nacogdoches Independent School District, is that culminating collaboration that happened. It just happens to be that Nacogdoches ISD is being recognized as the large business, but with that comes that partnership with Stephen F. Austin, with our city manager and the fire chiefs and the county, Judge Sal. We could not have been more happier to share this honor with the city and the citizens.
A lot of us, we didn't know what to do at the time, but we figured it out. And I was worried about the kids not being able to get what they really needed, because a lot of the students, are less fortunate. It was just scary thinking about them having to be at home and not having our support the way they should. So,
how are they going to do it so that we could assist as parents? Once we got that ball rolling, that the instruction was going to come out, I became a tabletop teacher, which was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Having to now derail my whole entire day, basically, to sit down at the kitchen table with my students. I had a 4th grader at the time and a kindergartner. So the ability to try to manage that was challenging at best.
It was hard for everybody to learn and pick up on this, not only a new way of learning, but really a new culture and a new environment. Staff, they took it and they rolled with it. They found new creative ways for us to engage at school and new creative ways for us to learn. Like I said, student motivation dropped a lot, but I think staff has found a lot of ways to kind of counter that.
It took all of us to make it these last few years, and I think if any one of us would have fallen short, then all of us would have fallen short.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move right along here now. Our community is blessed with a lot of nonprofit organizations that help our community. Many of the businesses, most, if I not say probably all of you, support them in one way or another. I know Gary Lee with United Way does a lot for our community to help the nonprofits and to encourage our support. We appreciate that. But we have a special one tonight that we want to recognize. And we have the video ready to go? Oh, yeah. All right. Here we go with the video for the nonprofit of the year.
Why would we not?
Nacogdoches Hope is the largest food pantry in Nacogdoches County. We serve 1,500 to 1,700 families a month. Families can come to the pantry one time a week and get food. They come out of the pantry with 60 to 75 pounds of food. The pantry is open one time a week for the client. The food we get comes from East Texas Food Bank and from our retail food stores. We get food from both Kroger's, both Walmart's, H-E-B, Target, Dollar General in Lufkin, and also Little Caesars gives us food as well. It's a pantry of choice, so they can choose what foods they want And by the time they leave, it's about 60, 75 pounds of food. We get 225 senior boxes from East Texas Food Bank. There's about 35 pounds of food in the boxes. Because of a grant that we got from East Texas Food Bank, we were able to purchase the church that was next door to Nacogdoches Hope and turn it into a resource center. It'll allow clients to come over and apply for SNAP applications or any other thing on the computer. We'll have dietitians from SFA, social work interns, nursing program. Joe's Diner will also be housed in the resource center. And they'll have the food services from SFA come in and they'll do cooking demonstrations. Then we'll serve a meal to clients or folks that come to see that. Our challenges right now are finding enough food that we can purchase to provide for the number of clients we have. There's shortages of food. That's our biggest challenge right now. We can get donations of food, donations of money, write grants, any of those kind of things help us to provide food, and that's mainly what we do with any donations that are given to us is we buy food. There's a volunteer form on our webpage or on our Facebook page that they can fill out, or they can just show up, and we welcome any volunteers or volunteer groups that would like to come.
Please welcome Deidre Harrison, representing Hope, and Ed Poole with Charles Poole Realty, that is the sponsor of the 2022 Nonprofit of the Year. Please come forward.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and all of our wonderful volunteers, I would like to thank the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce for selecting Nacogdoches Hope as the Nonprofit of the Year for 2022. So far this year, Hope has provided food for 16,798 families through the Food Pantry, Senior Box Program, and or the Community Produce Distribution. 94 cents of every dollar donated to Hope is used to purchase food from East Texas Food Bank. Because of our retail food partners, Kroger's, both Walmart's, Little Caesars, H-E-B, Target, and Dollar General, Hope is able to give out fresh produce, dairy products, breads, desserts, and dry goods, in addition to the food we purchase from the East Texas Food Bank. All of this provides our families with about 60 to 80 pounds of food per week. Without the support of individuals, community groups, schools, church groups, and local businesses, we would not be able to provide the variety and the amount of food to our food insecure families. Our new resource center will provide wraparound services for our clients with help from SFA and other community partners. Thank you also to all those who have helped Hope through the years by volunteering, donating, food drives, and work days. Thank you again for this honor. We are truly humbled.
So the ladies from Hope are sitting here, Lisa Denman and your whole table. Please stand up for me. You're with Hope, stand up, please. Stand up, stand up. Big round of applause, folks. This group is helping a lot of our folks who are most needy in our community. A very deserving award. More than that, they put their heart and soul into that. I know Lisa's my neighbor, and she does that a lot, and it's just inspiring to me and to a lot of people what they do for our community. All right, let's move on to our next video.
So I was in college at Oklahoma State University, and I didn't like snow that blew sideways at 40 miles an hour or thermodynamics. And so took my Texas travel map out and found a town in Texas that had a university and trees and relocated here over the Christmas break. So the city and the county, SFA, both of our hospital partners all got together and took a look at what assets and resources we had in our community. And then based on those assets and resources, tried to develop a plan. We realized at the time that our ICUs were full and we were coming up with alternative strategies for treating patients in the hospital. And when vaccinations became available, we realized the most important thing we could do is get them delivered as quickly and efficiently as possible to try to eliminate those patients in the ICU beds. What keeps me coming back? The firefighters, 100%. We have an amazing team, and the firefighters in Nacogdoches make me proud every day, make me happy every day, make me laugh every day, and sometimes make me cry a little bit, and all those things make me keep coming back. I think the biggest challenge that I personally faced with regard to the COVID issue was the belief by some people that I was super pro-vaccine for everybody. It was important for me to make sure that we made vaccines available, that it was easy, that it was efficient, that we had a really good process. But I don't judge anybody's personal decision with regard to that, and I think that made a very challenging situation for me. My biggest career highlight is my career allowed me to raise my daughter in a diverse community, in fantastic public schools, and to go off to college at Texas A&M, and my big career highlight's going to be watching her walk across the stage next May.
All right, I have a huge dilemma. I'm an Oklahoma State grad. Come on up, Keith. We appreciate what you do. Look at this. I love to see this. Not only the fire chief, but our fire department and what they do is important. I'm pretty sure that chainsaw that you saw in the video, I saw them carrying it up my stairs when my house was on fire, and doing their best to take care of our communities. You did that, but moreover, through COVID, you stood up tall, talked to folks, made sense, were reasonable about what you were talking about, made all of us understand how important it was, and for that we're forever grateful. So thank you very much. And now I have Kiplinger, Ray Mitchell, come up and present your award.
So the county judge told me that I need to start with a joke, and so contrary to popular belief, I did not sign the petition. The best I've got. The part that I didn't tell about the snow blowing sideways and my distaste for thermodynamics while at Oklahoma State, I also didn't care for out-of-state tuition because I was raised in Dallas, and it was quite costly. So that's the real reason Rusty's was killing me. And I had the most awful fire department job in the history of the world in Payne County, Oklahoma. And so the other part that I didn't tell, though, was that tonight really puts a bookend on one end of a very long career. The other end of that bookend, though, started with the Chamber of Commerce, because when I took the Texas travel map out and laid it across the hood of my '87 Chevrolet pickup, I walked back inside the fire station of a very miserable job, and I called the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, because we didn't have the internet in those days, and I asked if there was a college student working there. And they had a couple of interns, and I talked to a lovely young lady who recommended 2 apartment complexes, told me that NAC was a great town, that SFA was a great school, and that there was a really, really, really cool bar. Well, the bar's gone, but she was right. Bill Sherrod ran a great operation. So this is kind of the other bookend, right? And thank you to the Chamber and the Chamber Board. I'd like to recognize, I'm going to go very quickly, but I'd like to recognize just a few people, if I may. The best boss that I ever had was also the best employee that I ever had, and that's Chief Robert Templin, who spent the vast majority of his life at Nacogdoches Fire and Rescue. And thank you, Chief Templin. I'd like to thank the mayor, the council, and our city manager for allowing me to shepherd a 114-year-old institution in our community and trusting me to take care of her and make sure that she's still here 114 years from today. I'd like to thank our County Judge Greg Sal, who pretended to believe me when I told him COVID was going to be okay. Yes, Judge, we can give 1,000 shots in a day. And he kind of nodded his head, but you could tell he really didn't believe me, but he had the faith in us and our whole team. I need to thank my wife, Ashley, who has endured the most brutal commute for the last 16 years as she goes back and forth to Hobby Airport. And she's done it with a smile. And the unreasonable, insane hours that a fire chief has to put in, she's never grumbled, she's never complained, she just smiles and makes sure there's a glass of wine for me at the end of the day. My fantastic daughter, Peanut, who is watching this tonight, I think from Aggie Land as she works on some projects. She gives better tours of the fire department and has since she was 6 years old than any of my employees. She grew up in a firehouse. She's been to more burning buildings than most people will ever even see on TV in a lifetime. And so thank you to Peanut. And most of all, thank you to the firefighters who allow us to sleep at night, to feel safe driving down the road, and who allow commerce to actually happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. You know, our community is blessed with a lot of good people that spend a lot of time. There are few that spend a lifetime here, decades making our community better, growing our community, being concerned as they grow their business, wanting our community to grow. But we're blessed with one of them tonight. And we have a short video here for our Lifetime Achievement Award.
I think probably the biggest thing I'm proud of is the people who have worked for me and the ability we've been able to provide for them to have a living and to do well. We've been blessed by those kinds of leaders, and I feel like that's the key to the success of the company. I think the biggest thing is the reliance on accounting. I feel like if you know what you are doing and you don't do the things that are not making you money, and you improve on the things that are making you money, and you have the people that are working with you that are dedicated to the same prospect that you are, then I think you can be successful. I graduated music, and fortunately I was a rather bad musician. So I make a much better supply salesman than I do a musician. I'm pretty much committed to accurate answers and accurate information, and I respond to those things that I think are favorable. I know the things that are not favorable if I get that kind of information. And we have the people who work for us who all share the same vision I do. We've been very fortunate to have those kinds of people around us, and I think that's made the company what it is. The main thing is the people. I mean, we've had the ability to hire the people we needed and to get the support that we've needed. It's a wonderful place to live. Who would not like the idea of being able to live in Nacogdoches and do business in Houston, Dallas, Austin, and Denver, Colorado, those places, and still be able to live in Nacogdoches, Texas?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Elliott. Bill, please come forward. Bill has done a lot for our community there, just a short piece of it. We'll try to get you in the band too now, Bill, that we know you're in music. Well, that's all right. We'll let you be lousy in the band. Yeah. And the fact of it is described to you your service of our community.
Well, the greatest
some of you guys have never heard of us or know what we do, so I'll give you a little bit of an introduction. We have 172 locations in 10 states. Robert promises me we're going to do $2 billion this year. We started the company in 1972. This makes our 50th anniversary. And so we're celebrating 50. You guys are serving 100. So I'm not going to be around for the next 50, so I'll have to depend on Billy doing the next one. So I'm not sure he's going to make 50 either. But it depends on how Tamara teaches him, treats him, I think. But I really do appreciate it. What we've done that's made us successful is the fact that we've hired good people who are more capable than they thought they were. And they were leaders, they made good decisions, and they were ambitious. And we try to keep them financed and not tell them what to do too often. And I think that's the entrepreneurship that those people showed is the key to our success. It's a wonderful place to live. Mickey and I fell in love with this town when we used to drive through it years ago, calling them electric co-ops here. And the Fredonia Hotel was the first thing that hit me. It was brand new back then, and it was a beautiful place. And I so appreciate what's been done to this hotel and the fact it's been brought back to Nacogdoches and the contribution that has made to this community. So, and the other thing that I'm proud of is the fact that we're willing to invest in the community. We've gotten behind on that, and I hate that. I love the fact that we were willing to step up to finance the bond issue, for the schools. Our schools were holding us back, and we have the greatest leadership now I think we've had, I don't know when, and that's in most categories. So it reminds me very much of 100 years ago when SFA, the Boosters Club, sponsored SFA and managed to get SFA here. They saw a need and they responded to that need. I really feel like the most important thing we do is we pay our taxes, and I'm perfectly happy to pay my taxes because I think it's the best investment I could possibly make. And I hope that everybody feels that way because you can't grow a business or grow a community without reinvesting. So we need to step up and make Nacogdoches what it's capable of being and support the people who are trying to do that for us. So thank you very much for this. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and I just wish Mickey was here to join. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give one more big round of applause for all of our Gary Justice Excellent Award recipients tonight. And a banquet like this and an awards program and an annual meeting doesn't go on without a lot of hard work behind the scenes. We want to thank some of those, and I want to quickly go through those individuals and companies that were involved in this. Please hold your applause. We'll recognize quite a few folks because there were a lot of people that went in, put their effort into making it tonight possible. First, and she's been mentioned before and she'll be mentioned again, Betty Shin. Thanks for volunteering me to do this. I came home, I told Donna I'm going to MC the chamber, and she said, "Did Betty see you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Thank you for an outstanding job tonight. The band was excellent. NISD, we're very, very proud of that. The chamber staff, Wayne has already talked about them, but I want to recognize them again. Barbara Hall, who's the Operations Vice President. Kelly Augustine, who's the Executive Vice President. Sharon Hurst, Information Services Coordinator. Sherry Williams, who's Membership and Retention Coordinator. And then someone that doesn't have a title, but does a lot for our community, does a lot for the chamber, and keeps the wheels on and keeps Wayne in line the best you can, is Bonnie Mitchell, and I want a special round of applause for Bonnie for what she does for our community. And to Wayne Mitchell, who's moved into our community, and you can see the passion in what he believes we can be and wants to push to make us better. Love where we are, but as we look forward with Dustin, let's look forward, do better. We can do it. The staff here at the Fredonia Hotel, a round of applause for them for all that they did to make this thing. The job well done. We're very proud of the hotel and what it means for our community. Tyrone, in DMC Marketing for the video production, and Josh Poe, thank you. We had a little stumble, but we pulled through, and we're very proud of it. So, excellent videos. Jason Arena, Jason is standing right here somewhere with the camera. Jason, thank you for your photography for this evening. All right, one last item here. If you have your program in your hand, and there is a red star on your program, you are the lucky winner of the centerpiece on your table. So take it. If there's an empty table and you see a red program, grab the centerpiece if you want to. And last but not least, thank all of you for attending. It's on the program. Look on the front of the program. Don't look under your chair. Thank everyone here for attending. We appreciate your attendance. We know your time is valuable. We thank you for your support of the Chamber. And with that, we will conclude the 100th annual meeting of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. Have a safe trip home.